Hey guys, what is up? Andaull here today, bringing you guys another cartoon creepypasta. So in this cartoon creepypasta, we're going to be reading the story called Blue's Clues Lost Episode, Blue's Suicide. I've read a little bit of it, I've skimmed through it, so far I've enjoyed it, but at the end of this I'm going to do a review on it, so be sure to stick around for that. As well as, be sure to follow me on all my social media. My Discord, my Twitter, and my Instagram links will be down in the comments section, pinned at the top, as well as in the description box. So with that being said, that's the best way to be notified that I've uploaded a video, excuse me, because YouTube does not like to notify people. It's broken. YouTube sucks. Sometimes. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into this story. Around March 2003, I was happy. It was spring break for 3 weeks. My mom, my dad, my older sister, and her meathead boyfriend and I went to Tennessee to spend our spring break there. We are going to sleep in a cabin. When we got to the cabin, it looked nice and awesome. My mom and dad slept downstairs next to my older sister and her boyfriend's room. I slept upstairs, which has a bathroom next to me, which was amazing. My mom and dad went to Burger King to get us something to eat. As the food came, I ran upstairs to eat in my room. I was looking for a movie to watch. There were 30 VHS tapes with no cases. I found a VHS that had no label on the tape, and was written on the bottom, it said, Blue's Clues, on the tape. I was happy that I found a Blue's Clues VHS tape, because Blue's Clues is the best show on Nick Jr., along with the Upside Down Show, Max and Ruby, Lazy Town, and the Backyardigans. I popped the VHS into the player. The screen was black for about a minute. The Paramount logo came on. As it came on, it played the fanfare, which it was amazing. It was the best thing I ever saw. The Nick Jr. came on and looked crazy. The Nick and the Jr. was looking depressed. The Nick put the Jr. on the noose and the Jr. swinging back and forth for like 1 minute. And the Nick Jr. face came on. He looked strange and he talked in a sarcastic voice. Hi there, face here. Are you ready to watch Blue's Clues? Great. Let's watch Blue's Clues, here on Nick Jr. And the episode came on. The episode starts slightly differently. First, there was no music playing at all, and the yellow book did not say Blue's Clues. Instead it said Blue, and there was no one outside. Then the camera zoomed at the door, and it opened by itself. There was no one at the living room. There's also no one saying hello. The camera pans to the left and showed Blue sitting on a brown desk. She had a sad look on her face. Steve was passing by. He had 10 chocolate chip cookies on his green plate, he had milk in his green cup, and he has a DVD in his back pocket. He put them in his room and ran back to the kitchen, and gave Blue a bowl of 10 chocolate chip cookies and a cup of milk as well. He looked at the camera. I don't know what's got into Blue. He went to his room. Blue let out a big sigh. After she got done eating and drinking her stuff, Blue had a tear streaming down her face. She gripped and grabbed the pencil and started writing on the paper. She talked like a human instead of her barking. I can't take this anymore. I loved everyone in this house still. The truth is that I can't play Blue's Clues no more. Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper, and Paprika. They make a good food most of the time. Mailbox jokes are still funny, and everyone else is always a good friend of mine. And Steve is always fun, but nowadays he's dating Miranda. They always go on dates and left me and Magneta behind playing around the house. That's why I'm not playing Blue's Clues no more. Goodbye. Blue held a container that said potassium cyanide. She twisted the lid and dipped her tongue on the potassium and swallowed the whole container. She twitched and jiggled for about 5 seconds. It was no use. Blue collapsed to the floor, looking at the ceiling. Everyone saw what happened. Steve looked at Blue's dead body. The next scene showed a title card saying on Sunday. They held a funeral for Blue. Blue is always a good friend. She would stay in dog heaven because she is cute, funny, and nice, said Steve. Everyone said goodbye to Blue. The coffin went inside the ground. Later, Steve puts 2 flowers on the grave. The next scene cuts to a time card saying 5 days later. It cuts to Steve reading the newspaper when he heard a knock on the door. It was Miranda. She sat on Steve's lap. It was sad that Blue died, said Miranda. Yeah, it was, said Steve. They were kissing, but Mr. Salt came in the scene. Hey Steve, Mrs. Pepper, Paprika, and I are going on vacation. We'll be back in 90 days. Okay, said Steve, and he and Miranda kept on kissing. The screen stayed black for a while. I was about to eject the VHS until words faded to white that said 3 days later. It showed Tickety Talk in the bedroom. She was trying to look for Steve until she noticed some clothes were on the floor. She found some people that were Steve's age. They were men and women outside. They looked nude, screamed Tickety Talk. She found Steve and Miranda talking and kissing. Tickety ended up puking all over the floor, and the picture ended with a distorted static and went to pitch black. The episode ends and there wasn't no end credits on the VHS whatsoever. The VHS came out fully, not rewind and looked crazy. I got done eating my food and I took a nap after that, and it was the most nuttiest video I've seen in my life. Alright, so that story was alright. On the scale of the story itself, like the narrative of it, I'd give that about a 7 out of 10. The grammar of it is terrible. There was so many times, you guys aren't going to notice it because I'm going to cut it out during the editing process, but there was so many times that I had to re-record a whole sentence because half of the sentence that this person wrote would be perfect, and then half of the sentence would make like no sense. It would be missing letters, it would be missing words. It was just terrible. So on the grammar side of it, I'd give that about a 5 out of 10. Need to work on the grammar a little bit. But you guys can go check this story out for yourselves. The link will be down in the description. If you guys like it, check it out. I mean, you guys might be able to read it better than I can. I don't know. With that said, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button down below with the notification bell on. That is a good way to get notified if YouTube wants to work. And also leave a comment in the comment section down below telling me your thoughts. I try to reply to everybody as much as I can. With that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.